Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's 9:30 on August 13th, 2023. And just kind of didn't sleep well at all last night, obviously, because of the storms that we had. And, what an incredible night it was just to have a storm like that hit in the wee hours of the morning. Again, the lightning was pretty terrifying. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just scary, man. I wish I was in a better vantage point, but you know what I mean. It's 2:30 in the morning. You know, what I mean, it's actually 3 in the morning when some of these lightning strikes happen. But man, just nuts. And of course, it did knock out the power for a few hours. Thank God. Thanks to all the linemen and the people who got the power back very quickly. Most people have had their power restored tonight. There were, like I said, over 13,000 customers without power. And the shame on the media again. I mean, I go Long Island storms, and there's nothing really here. Overnight storms leaks. Only Newsday has an article. News 12 had something on the TV here, but nothing. All right, here's an article from Daily Voice. Rounds of storms knock out power. You think this would have gotten more coverage? All right. So this morning there were still, 6,000, almost 7,000 people without power. And that's all. I mean, really, this should have gotten much more coverage. Shame on the media for really not covering this. News 12, it's not just News 12, though. They're not covering it. Channel 7 isn't covering it. CBS New York, they're not covering it. No. CBS New York isn't covering it. I mean, it's like nobody covered it because it happened in the middle of the island. I mean, it happened in the middle of the night. I mean, the whole island was affected. But, I mean, really, shame on the media for not covering this. They don't really want you to know what happened. They want to try to bury it. They don't really want to talk about it. But this was quite a storm. So let's go to the Weather Service here and get the storm reports from, let's see, they should hopefully have an updated storm report list now of the damage here from these storms, and we're going to go over the storm reports from Long Island in this update here. So a 51-mile-an-hour wind gust at LaGuardia, and large limbs down at Central Park. Let's see, we have Old Field, trees down at the intersection of Old Field Road and Mount Gray Road. Ocean Beach had a wind gust of 39. That's not that bad, but thunderstorm wind damage in East Patchogue, multiple trees and large limbs down. Some on cars on Pine Neck Avenue. A 53-mile-an-hour wind gust at Blue Point. And I think the stronger winds were actually on the south shore of Suffolk. Look at that. 61-mile-an-hour wind gust in the hamlet of Brookhaven, which is between Bellport and Shirley. I'm not surprised at all when I saw all those power outages in that area. A 39-mile-an-hour wind gust at East Mauritius. And a 59-mile-an-hour wind gust at Southold, 46-mile-an-hour wind gust at Fisher's Island. It was quite a storm, and the lightning was just really incredible. That strobe lightning was just, I had never seen anything like that before. I mean, I can't remember seeing a storm with lightning. I mean, I've been in storms with frequent lightning, but it was constant. It was like a strobe light. You wouldn't go for more than a split, the lightning was going off like every tenth of a second. It was nuts. Crazy, terrifying storm. I'll admit I was a little bit scared because I've never seen anything like that before, and you just don't know where the lightning is coming when it's going that fast, Anyway, all right, so next thing I want to show you is some of the scenes as these storms hit and again, this is from out east. This was actually taken on one of the cameras out east, and we have some pretty good footage of the storms as they hit the east end, and they held together the whole way. So this you could see here. You could see lightning, and then there's a shelf cloud right above it here. This is Foster Beach. Current conditions outside right now, and we'll talk about the rest of the country in a moment here, but because you can see the heat in the south, but you can see it's a pretty warm night out there. 79 at Islip. Dew point has dropped to 63. However, it is really hot in my alley tonight. 85 degrees in the alley from hell right now. Yup.
Oh, I hate this place!
Yeah, it's hot. We're even hotter than LaGuardia. LaGuardia's 82. So that alley is just unbelievable. 70s in Jersey, 75 At Belmar Farmingdale, dew points up to 70 again, so I guess it didn't wind up dropping that much. Let's take a look at what Farmingdale is. Dew points 54 and 81 degrees. You can see no sea breeze anywhere. Maybe there's a sea breeze right at the beach. Maybe if you're right at the beach. But other than that, it was we really didn't see that sea breeze materialize very much today. So let's take a look at what the day was like at Islip first. So looking at Islip, you'll see here, yeah, upper 80s. I think we might have even gotten up to 90 today. And you can see the dew points were high, and they didn't really start going down until after 4 o'clock. So it was pretty brutal until the humidity started dropping and the wind started picking up. So at least it made the upper 80s feel more bearable. But it was pretty hot today, pretty hot day today at Islip. And we'll compare that with... let's compare that with Belmar Farmingdale, which is 75 degrees. Dew points back up to 70 again. It was lower earlier on. Let's see how they dropped in Jersey. So they only got their dew points down to the mid-60s, it looks like. They were also in the upper 80s as well. So, yeah, pretty hot out there. Although, like I said, as we got toward later in the day, the sky got better, and we did see some blue sky, but still too hot to walk around. But these are some pretty clouds to look at least, with some blue sky. But... too hot to be walking around out there for too long. So let's take a look at our highs for the day. And you can see high 88, so upper 80s, 90 at Farmingdale. So more or less upper 80s, except for the east end, which may have had more cloud cover and keep things in the mid-80s there. Upper 80s to near 90 in New Jersey. So upper 80s to near 90 pretty much everywhere. That westerly wind, keeping temperatures fairly uniform. Lows, yeah, only around 70, so in the night, who knows how far it's going to drop. Let's go look at the precipitation, because some of these areas on the east end really got pounded, so we're going to look at the 24-hour precipitation here. And you'll see, again, you can see Suffolk County really got some higher amounts. You can see some of those higher amounts here. Here in central Mass, only about 3/4 of an inch, but again, as you go south through Suffolk County, you're 1.5 inches, and then the Hamptons, where they got a lot of rain out there, because they got additional storms out there that wound up hitting. Let's see if we can get the rainfall to display on here. So, yeah, 1.30 in East Hampton. So, yeah, that's because they had some more storms pop up. That's right, folks, more storms. We're going to actually go to the Ventus Sky radar right now. We're going to rewind the radar and take a look what happened earlier today. Again, as those storms are moving through. So this is that line that really just came through and and you can see it held together the whole way out to the east. Actually, it was starting to weaken as it was going to, and then it re-strengthened again as it got toward the east end. Nocturnal storms in the middle of the night can do that because you don't have the ocean effect, you don't have the sea breeze, and the ocean temperatures are warm too, so you have that too. And you could see there, held together the whole way, and then after that was done. Some more pop-ups, some more storms popped up off the hand. There was another complex that popped up over West Suffolk that moved its way over Suffolk County that brought some more rain, and you can see some more over there developing off Hamptons. You can see hitting the Hamptons again. So, yeah, they got hit a couple of times with these storms. Pretty crazy stuff. And then rest of the day, I think we finally quieted things down. But... yeah, it's quite impressive. So let's go to back to the weather and hat. Let's go to the Wonder Map. Well, yeah, let me put the Wonder Map up here. We're going to go look at that in a moment here. So again, this is our satellite image, and you can see the cirrus streaming in from the west. This is what we're going to deal with tomorrow. So let me go to the Wonder Map here so we can get some more rainfall totals, because there are radar estimates that there are actually higher rainfall totals in some areas. So let's see what we got here, because this gives us more rainfall totals here. So again, Nassau County, not, a decent amount of rain, 0.75, but as you go into Suffolk County, Babylon area over 1 inch. It looks like central Suffolk also around 1 inch there. And then look at that, Patchogue, almost 2 inches of rain there, 1.61. So, and they got into some of that, again, they got hit multiple times. Same thing with Ridge, 1 inch in Ridge, though you have 1.25 inches as you go toward Middle Island. Sound Beach, 1.14. So the Pine Barrens got plenty of rain. Riverhead, 1.3 inches as well. So, yeah, disregard that 8.73. I don't think that's accurate. But, yeah, decent amount of rain out there. Over an inch already, so, yep, over an inch. A lot of these areas. So, they got quite a bit of rain out there, as you see. Quite a bit of rain. And you look at other areas. New York City didn't get as much. Jersey Shore, actually just showing zeros, so they didn't get anything there. So Long Island got, actually, I think Long Island got hit some of the hardest. And, maybe that's why it's not being covered as much. Again, because we have News 12, which is crappy. They did have a report on this. They did cover it, but they were only in East Patchogue. They didn't talk about the other areas because, the way they are. But anyway, yeah, quite impressive. So let's go to the weather map now. The weather map. This is the weather prediction map. So you see this front that's come through here. We have another high that's trying to build down, but we have another low that's coming. This is going to bring us our next chance for precipitation and thunderstorms Monday night and Tuesday before more cool air comes into the picture. So let's go look at the Storm Prediction Center, and you'll see you have that enhanced risk over Missouri, it looks like. So, and around it you have a slight risk. And then as we go into tomorrow, look at this. Yep, we are back into a marginal risk for more severe thunderstorms again, and slight risk for the Mid-Atlantic. So here we go again for tomorrow with these storms. And again, it's just, what can I say? We're not done yet. We're gonna see more thunderstorms like that, and more, especially as the climate changes. Let's look at the radar. Again, this is going to become, the strobe lightning thing is becoming more common across the country, and it's going to become more common here too. That's why the media doesn't want to talk about it, I guess, because they don't want you to know what kind of trouble we're in. So we have a complex of storms in Minnesota, and here are the storms around Kansas, and Woodward, in Oklahoma there, western Oklahoma Panhandle, but it's quiet here. So let's go back to the weather and hazards map, and we'll go and we'll put our state regular station plot back up here, and we'll go ahead and look at the south. And again, you see all the heat down here. Obviously, they got all these excessive heat warnings again until 9 p.m. Monday. So it's going to be a very hot day tomorrow again for them in the south. You can see it's generally going all the way from East Texas all the way out and even into Florida. 95. Let's see what that is. 95 with a dew point of 70 at LaGrange. 91 with a dew point of 74 over there. So let's go and take a look at what our highs were in this area today. And you'll see, yep, here we go again with the heat again. Temperatures 100 degrees, reaching 100 degrees in places like Meridian. 100 degrees, so just very, very hot, unbearable heat. Got 106 as you go into Texas here. These hundreds here, just, oh my gosh, brutal. I mean, just unbelievably brutal. And that remains in effect again through. So this station here, 106 and 88, and a dew point of 72 right now at Monroe. So a place like Louisiana, Mississippi, I think the South, just, it's unlivable. And Florida has been pretty hot too, by the way. It's actually been pretty hot in Florida too, particularly the northern part of Florida. It's actually hotter in the northern part of Florida than the southern part of Florida. How's that for crazy? Hit 100 at Cross City Airport. Look at that, 88 with a dew point of 79. That's ridiculous. Somebody's got an 80-degree dew point in there. In fact, how do we display dew points over here? I think we can. I have a feeling maybe we'll see an 80-degree dew point. I see a lot of dew points up. Yep, there's an 81-degree dew point being reported at Sewanee Airport. So, yeah, 81-degree dew point. That's insane. You see a lot of these very high dew points here in the 70s. And then it gets better as you head further west into Texas, where at least it's a little more of a dry heat. It's still hot, but your dew points are in the 50s and 60s. And then looking at the dew points here, I've never used this dew point display, but you'll see we have lowering dew points across the east here. So we're enjoying some lower dew point air that we're getting into. So let's look at the MODIS satellite now. And show you again what. So see here we had again a lot of cumulus around today, and then you can see there's some smoke up here around Hudson Bay, and then don't see. Oh, yeah, here's some fires going here in Alberta still, and then the smoke in Alaska looks like it's a little bit better, but it's hard to see with all those clouds there. Those fires are probably still going. We still have fires going in Oregon. You can see them here as well. And we also have a lot of fires in Siberia, too, as well. Let's go over there. Take a look at this. So you can see all these wildfires here. Plenty of smoke over here, too, as well. Yep, more smoke over there. Russia, so more wildfires there as well. Let's go to the Canada Northern. I'm going to do this with the lightning, I think. Let's do a 60 frame of this. Let's kind of show where the lightning is, too, and the smoke. This takes a little while to load. You can see, again, there's the storms here. And parts of New England was still dealing with storms as well. Just it's taking a while to load this one. I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't want to load on the flash intensity one. All right, we're just going to do the regular. Let's see if the regular will load. Oh, it's just stuck. Come on. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Now the site may be down. I might not be able to give this information to you. Yeah, it's not loading at all. All right, let's try this again. We're gonna just do just do the regular. All right. Let's do 48. The site seems to be acting up. Hopefully that'll work. All right, so you can see here's the regular, and you can say, oh, yeah, look at all the smoke that's coming out of, it looks like the Northwest Territories. There's a whole lot of smoke that's coming out of there right now. Look at that. That's a lot of smoke. So let's see if we can get a different view of that. Let's do the southeastern Alaska view. That might show it. Oh, yeah, there you go. So here you go. Look at that. This is Northwest Territories. You still got, look at all that smoke. So these fires are still going like crazy. So it's just incredible how this is continuing. It really, it's going to keep going until the winter comes. It's never ending. It'll end maybe when the winter comes. And then it'll start back up again next summer. Probably even worse than this summer. So let's go to the models next and look at our patterns here that we're going to have setting up as we head through this week. You'll see a little bit of a ridge there. So that's what we have, bringing the moisture back in for chance of thunderstorms. Then a trough comes in. You can see that. Very strange looking jet stream there. Kind of washes out, and then another little trough comes in. But you can see another little trough. But I'm also seeing a lot of ridging here, which means we could start to see heat build into our area, or at least we'll have intermittent waves of heat here. This jet stream is a complete mess, by the way. Let's go look at the European. That's not a surprise, This is what happens when you have a difference between the poles and the equator shrinking because of rapidly warming Arctic. So let's look at the European and see if there are any differences here. You can see that trough kind of just washes out there, which is not a good. We thought we were going to get into some nice air midweek, but now that front's probably going to wash out, and then we have a very narrow trough coming through Friday. But yeah, it's not looking like we're going to see any really big cool down, but it won't be brutal either. We're going to just be kind of in between things, and as we deal with that, we're going to have more chances for rain, I think. So let's go look back to the GFS, look at our temperature anomaly chart here, which we'll do here, and we'll show you this through here, and we'll see. So we do have, but that's not going to heat up too much. Then you do see that cold front come through, but you have to wait for that storm, and then we could be dealing with heat as we head into the latter part of August again. You can see a little bit of heat trying to come through there before some more cool air maybe comes through at the end of the month. But yeah, it's not looking great. European is going to show the same thing. Let's look at the European as well. And you notice it still stays way above normal there in Canada. which means more wildfires. European's not quite as bad with the heat, but it is showing, again, it is showing warmth. So let's go back to the surface here, looking at the GFS. Show you what's going to be happening as we head into tomorrow. So we'll have one more dry day tomorrow, and then tomorrow night into Tuesday is when we're going to see our next chance for thunderstorms and rain with this next low pressure system. And more and more, you'll see this high pressure tries to build in, but you see what happens. This front kind of just gets stuck offshore. So, yeah, we're not really going to get into the really nice air. We have to wait until Friday for the other front to come through. Originally, we thought we would get into the really nice air. You can see there's a tropical system on the west coast there. But we should have a very nice weekend after that, and then you'll see highs, and then you're starting to see some more tropical systems pop up over here too as well. And then there's it's showing one right there. That's way out, obviously. Go to the run before, it's not even going to be there, so don't panic. All right. Let's go to the closer view of things now and look at the HRRR model first. 0Z, and we still don't have enough of it in yet to show most of tomorrow. So, I mean, we'll have enough of it in to show most of tomorrow, but not Tuesday. So here's tomorrow. We'll be fine tomorrow, but it's tomorrow night that we're going to have to watch for that chance of thunderstorm activity. And you can see there's like a low that could enhance lift. And look at this again. Possibly another middle of the night deal. Again, for tomorrow night, there's that low coming through there. And you can see, all right, we got one more run there that just popped through. So you can see that low. And then once you get to Tuesday, it looks like we get a break. That's as far as the HRRR goes. The HRRR did not do that great with this past system. I think the NAM actually wound up doing better. So let's look at the NAM here. But again, it's going to be a middle of the night deal. See, it's showing mostly offshore activity, but you just might see some over us too. That could be some pretty heavy stuff right there. And again, we're in that marginal risk for severe weather. And for Tuesday, there still could be chances for more storms here popping up with the actual front in the evening. You can see right there. So let's go back to the HRRR model. A few more frames. And I mean, it's enough for tomorrow and part of Tuesday. So let's go to the dew points here and look at, you see the dew points here. The dew points have come down a little bit, and tomorrow we won't have, the dew points won't be that high. You'll see there's a little bit of dry air. Winds become light from the south in the afternoon, so it will be a sea breeze. Hopefully means cooler. But Tuesday, you'll see that humidity kind of surge in with that low. It's as far as we've got on the HRRR. Let's go to the temperatures tonight. Obviously, not going to drop that much. Probably lows around 70. Heck, I don't even know if the alley's going to get below 80. And then for Monday, you'll see tomorrow will be cooler than that. I think we'll have highs in the low to mid 80s. But if you're in Jersey, where you're not going to be getting that sea breeze, it could be 80, upper 80s to around 90. And then that's as far as we got on that. Let's go to the GFS. We want to go a little further here and look at our dew points and wind flow. So, see, there's that humidity for Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be a little uncomfortable. And then we lower the humidity a little bit Wednesday. But you notice it gets hung up, just like today. Same thing. It's getting hung up because the jet stream is all collapsing in on itself. So instead of getting these fronts coming through, they kind of just get hung up. And then we get back to an easterly flow on Thursday, so we see more moisture. We have to wait until Friday now to get a decent push of dry air to come through and sweep that out and get us in some nice low dew points Friday into Saturday, finally. So the weekend should be nice. And then as we get into next week, you start seeing the heat build again, southwest winds, and some brutal days could be there. Maybe another heat wave in store as well. So I have a feeling we're not done yet with the heat waves. And the GFS is warmer tomorrow, by the way, for western Long Island. It could be upper 80s to around 90, which wouldn't surprise me. Tuesday, you can see the difference here. Cooler to the north because that's where there's going to be more rain and clouds. But for us, we're going to be dealing with warm and humid conditions. Wednesday, it drops down to the upper 70s to low 80s, so the temperatures will be more comfortable. And then more comfortable temperatures at least, especially along the coastal areas for Thursday. Friday, around 80. Next weekend, low 80s. Fairly seasonal, but look at what happens once it gets to Sunday. Here comes the heat. 90 or better, and it's going to be sticking. Look at this. This is scary. Next Monday, upper 90s. Really scary stuff here. So we may not gonna be done with the heat yet. It's oh my gosh, this is absolutely terrifying. It's showing a 112 over Virginia. My gosh, is it just this run that's doing it? Yeah, it's just this run. So you can see it's just this run. There's a run-to-run variability. That looks like an error to me. Let me look at the 12Z run. That's just way too much. I'm sorry. So yeah, look at the 12Z. It's much cooler. It does have heat for us Sunday and Monday, but it doesn't have it stick around any more than that. So there's a bit of a difference but this is what happens when you're in the long range. You know, that's why I don't like looking at the long range, and I don't go into it. But just beware that once we get into next week, we're going to be dealing with some heat. Whether it's just going to be a couple of days or it's going to be more than that, I just can't tell you right now. But you know, judging by the general pattern, it's not. You know, you see that ridge in the jet stream, so you've got to be really concerned about that. We can look at the European for the temperatures as well, but I don't think. Let's see if the European is showing this. I'm just curious if it does. It doesn't really go that far out. European is not showing it at all. Look at this. The European not showing it at all. So that's interesting. So here's the European not showing any heat at all. European is giving us different kind of weather altogether. Yeah, it's giving us a northwest flow. Yeah, let's see what we got here. So let's look at this European here. This is looking at the moisture here. European is a more intense low there. This is the 12Z European run. So, you know, maybe we'll get lucky. We'll have to see. Europeans, you know, but the European's track record hasn't been great. So, well, I'd love to believe the European. European is not showing any heat for us, and honestly, I think it's a little bit of a cool bias here. You can see it definitely has a cool bias, which is why I don't usually use it too much. So anyway, like I said, I think I would love the European to be right, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. So let's go to the RGM next. We'll look at the skies. So here we are, skies tomorrow. There's going to be plenty of cirrus around throughout the day. So probably a junky-looking sky. Clouds come in. Again, with the chances of thunderstorms Tuesday. Could have some breaks of sun Tuesday afternoon, perhaps, for more storms come through with that cold front. And then for Wednesday, you see what ends up happening. The front kind of gets hung up. And maybe a little bit of clear sky in between, but then you have a cumulus development. So we'll have to see what happens. Again, you can see that front just gets hung up because, again, the jet stream just kind of just washes out there. Just disappears, you know. So let's go to Ventu Sky, and let's go to the I want to look at the thunderstorm threat tomorrow night as far as Cape goes. Let's go at 8 p.m. Charlie, tomorrow will probably be, it's mainly coming after midnight, so we're going to have to go more like 12. Yeah, it's mainly to the south. You can see that Cape is mainly to the south, but we're going to have to watch this. So we're going to have a better idea when I do tomorrow's weather update, what's going to happen tomorrow night, I think. So let's go look at these statistics for today, the weather statistics for today, as far as... So islip, you can see 87 was the high at islip at 3 o'clock, though the other thing says 85, 5 degrees above normal. And so we were 4 degrees above normal for the day. Central Park was 2 degrees above normal for the day, 4 degrees above normal on the high. And, yeah, so let's go to the Climate Prediction Center. Actually, before I do that, let's look at the smoke model here. Go to the 21Z here and look at vertically integrated smoke and see if we're going to be dealing with any smoke. Because it was nice, at least, we didn't have the smoke once we got there, but I have a feeling, look at all the smoke coming out of there. We may wind up dealing with that. Unless, yeah, you can see it's starting to dive down there. Yeah, we're going to wind up dealing with that at some point, probably. We'll have to see, but it's just too far in advance to say what's going to happen with that. But you can see a big smoke plume there. So these fires are really going. This is on the border of Northwest Territories and Saskatchewan. So, yeah. So we'll have to watch that. It's too far. It's too far in advance right now to predict, but we could be dealing with more. So let's go to the near surface smoke model as well. We're going to look at this as well and see, because I have a feeling there's going to be some near surface smoke with this as well. So if we do get into this, it could be thick. We'll have to see. This is a ways away, but just keep this in mind. We're going to have to watch this. All right? So let's go to the Climate Prediction Center lastly and talk about our 6 to 10 day outlook. And you can see, above normal for the everybody east of the Rockies, especially the upper Midwest, well above normal. And precipitation is below normal in much of the east, and above normal in the west, which is where they really need it because they've got a lot of wildfires going there. And look at that, above normal continues 8 to 14 day. The Climate Prediction Center is also buying into the fact we're going to be dealing with some heat. And I'm not looking forward to it at all whatsoever in this place, especially in this place. All right, well, have a good night. Thank you for watching. Take care.